was yapping. Who sound like that? That's how they be sounding in New Orleans, man. Shout out to all my New Orleans people out there, man. Word. I've been to New Orleans twice, y'all. Went to New Orleans twice. Went to Essence Fest twice. And I'm going to tell you, that is one of my favorite cities. I don't know what it is about New Orleans, but they got a different type of spirit, man. Different type of spirit. They have pride in their city. And I love it. I love it, man. I've been out there twice and had a great time twice, my people. Great time twice. My boy, Daniel, what's up, Daniel? How you feeling? He said, happy Thursday. Hello, everyone. How you feeling, Daniel? Thanks for checking in, man. How you doing today, brother? How you doing, man? I'm chilling. Just talking about the 2 trips I took to New Orleans. You know, I'm going to be light on this part because a brother is taking, so I'm not going to go in on it. But if you was a single man, they talk about places like Cabo in the Philippines and all of these other places, man. You need to go down there to Essence Fest, man. You need to go down there to New Orleans on Essence Fest. I'm telling you, you're gonna be you're gonna be impressed. You're gonna be impressed, man. You know, something about a Southern guy, You know, us New Yorkers, we grew up wanting the chick from the South, man. You know, we grew up thinking that these New York chicks ain't had no morals and no standards about them. But nah, New York women are good. Just like women everywhere, man. A good woman everywhere, you feel me? But nah, New Orleans is crazy when it comes to that. Then they got so much culture. I remember taking a walk around the city out there, and they got some haunted places that they have in New Orleans. So I believe one of them shows with the witches. What's that show with the witches? Forgot the name of it. I don't even watch it, really. But they got a bunch of episodes of them. But one of them, they were speaking about witches. And that house is down there in New Orleans, my people. Down there in New Orleans. Not to mention, growing up in high school, I saw About It. That was like really my first introduction to New Orleans. I used to live across the street from Blockbuster. So I'd be in there all day. And I just remember one time looking at the album, the cover of About It from Master P. And I was like, wait up, man, let me see what this about. I put it in, man, and fell in love with that movie and started following Master P music. And what the hell? Y'all hear that? In the tree? Yeah, but nah, it was definitely official. We got 11 people on that check-in, man. When you come in, hit that like button. If this is something that you're into, hit that subscribe button. What is this? This ain't nothing special, my people. I'm just a dude walking to work, chilling, man. Just a dude walking to work, chilling. You feel me? Walking to work, chilling. We are in Freeport, New York. This is a suburb of New York City. We're about 20 to 30 minutes away from Queens and about 45 minutes to an hour away from New York City, y'all. Manhattan. So we out here, you know. I'm on my way to Queens right now. What you cats got planned for the day? What y'all doing today? What are y'all doing today? You know? But yeah, go down there to New Orleans, man. Go down there to New Orleans. I'm telling y'all, if y'all like culture, if you like looking at pretty women, go down there. Go check out the Essence Fest, my people. So we got somebody else on the check-in. Somebody said Russo brothers are just making MCU, SHIT, and SHIT day by day. What you talking about, man? What you talking about? What you talking about? Explain yourself. Accidental cute 690. Explain yourself. Yeah. So I put out a video today talking about that blackout that happened in 1977 out here in New York. I doubt many of you guys on the check-in was even born during that time, because I damn sure wasn't. I would be born 3 years later. But anybody on the check-in, y'all was born prior to 1977, and do you remember the 1977 blackout that happened out here in New York? Yeah, I don't. I don't remember it because, again, I wasn't born. But I did do a video on it. I did some research about what happened that night. And it was definitely a crazy night. Crazy night. I always, like, run mental exercises with things like that. Say, okay, if it was 1977 and let's say I was 19, 20, or let's say I'm at the age now, and you guys know I go into the city every day. What if they had the blackout while I was out there, you know? And what happened with the blackout was people started looting, son. People was running up in stores, taking what they wanted. People was in the electronic stores. People were taking furniture. And it was so many fires going on. The cops couldn't really respond because they was arresting mad people. So I'm thinking, if I was of age during that time, what would have I have done? What would you guys have done? Me, I'm not, I'm not a thief. I don't look at stuff like that. Never was. I also don't like big crowds. So I know I wouldn't have been out there, but I know there'd have been some people out there getting their stuff, y'all, getting their stuff. My boy Accidental said they are ruining our iconic characters arc for real, like their Cap, etc. All right, I kind of figured you was talking about superheroes. I'm not really huge onto superheroes, but I will give you this. I will give you this and tell you this. I like science, right? And I like science. And I think I was listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was telling me, well, not me, but he had a video speaking about one of the powers. And I think, damn, the character could control like matter or something like that. And Neil deGrasse was like, yo, this is the most powerful character ever. I forget the character's name. But for a second, I started doing research on the strongest characters. And some of these cats is lifting universes, like breaking the fabric of space-time. I'm like, wow, what kind of power is that? That is crazy, yo. That's crazy, kid. Night, IDK1 said, how was going on, Night? My boy Cool. Gut Fando said, how was going on? Amanda, she said, oh, how was going on? How were you feeling? How you feeling? I'm straight. So yeah, we're talking about that blackout of 1977. And you guys city, where you guys from? You guys ever have a blackout in your city? You guys ever have a blackout in your city? Well, we had a few blackouts out here in New York. Again, I don't remember the one in 1977. I wasn't born yet, but I do remember we had a couple. We had one in like the 90s. We had another one in like 2003. And at that time, I was of age, but nobody was really out there looting, yo. We just grabbed drinks. I went on my terrace, and I was chilling with the people, yo, talking to the people. The lights were out. Nobody had power. So everybody was just chilling, yo. We was chilling. It was like a big old block party, you know? But that was different than 1977. Again, they was tripping in 77. You know what I mean? Amanda asked me what time is it there. It is 4:41 over here in New York. Long Island, 4:41 out here in Long Island, you know? So, yeah, the people was wilding, yo. And then in 77, we had the Summer of Sam that was going on. Just imagine, yo, just like, man, we look at stuff in history, but we got to realize, yo, that history is the same as now. So just imagine you chilling with your girl in a vehicle like that, right? Y'all chilling, you're talking after a night out, and then somebody just comes up from behind you guys and shoots you, yo. How scary is that? And this guy is going around different parts of New York doing this. It's interesting that I bring up Summer Sam because I'm gonna be over there in Forest Hills, and he caught a couple of victims over there in Forest Hills. So, she said there's 3 over there. Where you at? All right, where you at? You an hour before us. Where you at? Where is you? My boy Cool came on and said hi again. What up, Cool? What up, Cool? What up, Cool? Yeah. So that was going on in the city. Also, you had business owners because we were like financially in a deficit out here in 77. So you had business owners that was burning their buildings. So you had a bunch of like abandoned spots out there in the city. And against all of this, we had a blackout, man. And it was a heat wave during that night, like 90 something degree weather, hot and humid. And the people just snapped, yo. The people snapped. My boy Cool asked me where I'm going. I'm on my way to the train station, my brother. On my way to the train station, because I'm going to work. On my way to work. You dig? On my way to work. Yes, sir. Yeah. So it was crazy, man. So it strained the people. But the craziest thing happened, y'all. The craziest thing happened, my people. Hip hop. So during that time, they was having those parties out there in the Bronx, the hip hop parties. Again, I'm like, damn, yo. Being from Long Island, if I was 19, 20, 21 at the time, would I have been out there in the Bronx at those parties? And you got to realize New York in the 70s was just a whole different spot, man, just a whole different spot. So, I'm sure the people even then, during that time, going to those parties, they didn't know that in the future, 30, 40 years down the line, that those would be iconic nights and that they would play a part in history and that you would have pictures that people took just of that day, just thinking they was just capturing a good time, that those pictures would later become American history. So that type of stuff is interesting, So again, you had a whole bunch of people out there in the Bronx, Brooklyn. These people couldn't afford speakers and DJ equipment. Them things are expensive. So on the blackout, mad people went to the electronic stores, yo, started getting turntables, microphones, speakers, all types of stuff, yo. And like the number of DJs just multiplied. So you already got to assume that if the DJs are multiplying, then the MCs really started multiplying too. So it's like something like that happened that was detrimental to the city. It actually birthed one of the most beautiful things to ever come out of America. And one of the things that New York has actually been known for, birthing hip hop, you know what I mean? And who would know that hip hop would become so influential that it would basically influence a whole generation, I was just thinking about this the other day. And if anybody asks me my culture, I got to tell them I'm hip hop. That's my culture, son. Everything about me is hip hop. You know what I mean? From the way I think about certain things. I got caught on to hip hop in the late 80s, early 90s. You got to realize that hip hop still wasn't completely accepted. This was still counterculture at the time. So just being a 9-year-old kid and you're rapping, like adults looked at that like, yo, you're a hoodlum for rapping, like the style of hip hop, the clothing. I was born and raised to look up to this, You look at like 93, 94, you got to realize that we had a huge movement of conscious rap where you had people like Common coming out, Nas. New York was always a little weird with their hip hop culture because we used to look to the intelligent thug. You street, but at the same time, about science. You could break down philosophy. So you'll look at the Wu-Tangs. You'll look at people like Busta Rhymes. You'll look at Killer Priest. These type of rappers, Raz Kass, KRS-One, these Public Enemy. These are people that was mixing ideology with their music. So you're getting Louis Farrakhan when you're listening to Public Enemy. When you're listening to KRS-One, you're getting Kwame Ture and people like that. And as a youngster, when you're 12 and 13, you see people walking around with medallions. You see people with their nappy hair talking about they going natural, talking about going back to Africa and these movements. And these movements just influenced my whole life, man. Influenced my whole life. And who was to know that something like a blackout in 1977 would help in birth? I'm sure it would have came out eventually, but as fast as it did, and the way hip hop hit the scene, it was a beautiful story, man. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story, you know? Not even look at how it spread out. So I watch NPC when they have their Tiny Desk concerts. And some of my favorite ones are Go-Go. So I'm looking at the Go-Go guys rap, and I'm listening to their influences on rap and their influences on music, and they took something that was created out here in New York, and they put their own little regional spin on it, and it's beautiful and gorgeous, and it tells their story in a way that someone from New York can't tell the story. I mentioned New Orleans. They have the second lines, and they also have the trumpets and the music, things like that, and they mix that with hip-hop also. And you hear it in the Manny Freshes, you hear it in the KLCs from the Beats by the Pound, you hear it in the rappers and the bounce that they have when it comes to their music. And it's just like, it's a beautiful thing, man. They took their jazz influences, and they put their own little spin on something that happened in the Bronx, y'all. Same thing with Los Angeles. I'm going back, listening to Parliament, Funkadelic, and all these people, and I'm hearing them, I'm not gonna say recycle other people's art, but what they're doing is putting their own spin on the story that someone else is telling. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. You know? And it's crazy that something like a blackout, again, helped start it, man. It's wild. So I released a video talking about that today, man. We woke up early, got that out the way, and we feeling good about it, man. So go check the page, man. Go definitely check the page. You know, we stacking together some pretty good ones, man. Speaking about the history of New York. We got one video talking about Mayor Dinkins, the first black mayor of New York. A great story. We also have a video speaking about William Steinway of the piano company, Steinway and Sons. That was another interesting company. That dude right there, man, very influential. And he was a visionary, a true outlier. Shout out to William Steinway. We also have a video speaking about the copycat killer, the Zodiac, who was out here, William Setter. He was a guy who looked at a whole bunch of serial killers. He got rejected by the army, and he just flipped out, son, and started killing people, man. Started shooting people in the city based off of zodiac signs. He was heavily into the occult. We got that video up for you. Today, I'm gonna work on another video to let you know some of the unique things that's happening out here in New York today, man. You know? So it's gonna be official, y'all. It's gonna be official. So we got 3 people left with me. What up, y'all? What are y'all getting into today, man? What are you guys getting into today? What you looking forward to? What you're looking forward to? And also, if you look at what you did for the whole week up until this point, man, are you happy with yourself? Can you look back and smile and say, you know what? I took advantage of that time. Can you do that, man? Can you do it? If you can't, you still got time, my brother. You still got time. Just don't procrastinate too much, man. Don't procrastinate too much, man. Time disappears, y'all. Time can disappear right in front of your eyes. Time can disappear right in front of your eyes, you know? But it's a beautiful morning out here, man. Beautiful, beautiful morning. And I'm feeling good, y'all. Feeling real, 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 real good. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. Ooh. That's why I love the morning, y'all. I could just relax, yo, and breathe, man. I tell you, it's liberating. I feel like you're the only one out here. It is so liberating, man. Beautiful. Just me and the stizzars. Me and the stars. The birds ain't even out yet, man. Chilling with the stizzars. You feel me? The celestial beings. I'm rocking with the celestial beings today, man. What's wrong with y'all? If you don't rock with the celestial beings, I can't rock with you, son. You feel me? Yeah, no, the sun is powerful. I love the sunlight. It energizes me. But when I'm out here with the moon, I feel connected, man. I'm out here with the moon, connected. But y'all know what's scary, man? Y'all ever think about space? Like space, like, you know, say you leave Earth's orbit and you get to space, like our minds are not even configured to comprehend the size of like a planet. So I think about that stuff because sometimes I'm driving on a bridge and I look at the size of a bridge and I'm like, this is kind of big. But just imagine on a spacecraft and you going into moon's orbit, right? Just think about how big it is, yo. You're like, I think your mom would go crazy. Now, scale that up and go out the sun. You feel me? Like, just imagine how big the sun is. Like, our mind can't comprehend those types of sizes, you know what I mean? It can't comprehend those type of sizes, you know? Just like a light year. We can't imagine that distance, traveling the speed of light for a year. I was just watching a video, and I think they was talking about Hubble, one of the spacecrafts that we sent out there, the space probes, and they was like, it's been traveling since we sent it out at some of the highest speeds that a human-made craft has ever did. And so far, it only got 1 light minute, son. 1 light minute. That's how far it got. As far as light would travel, if you're traveling at the speed of light for 1 minute, yo. Just think about that, son. But that's all I got. Thanks, everybody, for watching. This is the OutLIer B. We up out here. I love y'all. Peace out, man. Yeah.